Jordyn LaBarge.
And I'm Amelia Pelaez. Welcome to KTRM Studios on Thursday, September 23rd.
Tonight, we will cover a bomb threat made to Truman's campus on September 11th, the university's new student portal replacing TrueView, and the Red Barn Festival downtown in Kirksville.
These stories and more brought to you by KTRM Studios. You don't want to miss this.
On September 11th, a Truman student posted a bomb threat to anonymous social media site Yik Yak. Anas El-Hassani with the story.
On Saturday, September 11th, a student threatened to bomb Centennial Hall. Truman Media Network talked to Sarah Seifert, the chief of the Department of Public Safety. Here's what she had to say.
On September 11th, in the early morning hours, probably around 1:30 a.m., a post was posted on a social media platform called Yik Yak, which is an anonymous social media platform that a lot of college students use. And that threat basically threatened to bomb C Hall on Truman campus on Tuesday of the next week. It warned people to stay out of C Hall, which is Centennial Hall, here on campus on Tuesday. And once I received notification, I actually received a couple emails from Truman students that said this was posted on a social media site. This is very concerning. We're upset. I read the email and immediately attempted to contact Yik Yak through their legal services. I was able to get a hold of them by email and by phone. I worked with their tech experts then to get the phone number of the anonymous post. Once I had the phone number that posted the post on Yik Yak, I went through IT services here at Truman, and with their cooperation and our great partnership here on campus, they were able to tell me that a Truman student had that number registered as theirs, and that it was Patrick Akins. And so once we located where Patrick was living, we went over to the Delta Chi fraternity house and talked with Patrick, let him know that he was under arrest for making the terroristic threats. We actually read him his Miranda rights after we arrested him, and he agreed to talk to us voluntarily, at which time he basically, at first he said he really didn't remember making the statements, but he was sure he did. And then later in our drive to the sheriff's department, he actually asked, if he could ask a question, and we said, absolutely. And he said, does it matter if I remember making that post? And we of course said, it's always better to tell the truth. And Patrick said he remembered making the post, that he didn't mean anyone any harm, and that it was pretty stupid to have been made. So after he made those statements, of course, we continued to the jail. We booked him in and processed him and left him on a 24-hour hold for making a terroristic threat. On Wednesday of last week, he had a hearing in front of the judge, and according to court records, he was released on his own recognizances and then promised to appear at the next court date. The exact post that I have here in my report says, "About to bomb the out of C Hall on Tuesday. Don't come to C Hall." Yik Yak was a wonderful partner in this. They immediately answered my phones. They immediately responded to my emails. And Yik Yak had actually already noticed the threat and banned Mr. Akins from the Yik Yak site because of the threat. The thought process that we had is that within 12 hours, and I'm going to say 12, it's probably more like 13 by the time we had him in custody and actually arrested, because of the timely arrest of the suspect, him admitting that he had done it and that he didn't mean any harm by it. there was no ongoing threat to the university, so we didn't feel that we really needed to alert anyone. DPS actually has great community relationships and partnerships with Res Life. You know, in hindsight, I wish that they would have immediately called either 911 when they saw this threat, or, you know, at least a number, and talked to a DPS or a Kirksville Police Department officer. But, you know, it worked out okay. And I think it's because maybe he made a threat for Tuesday, and it wasn't like, tomorrow morning I'm going to do this. So they didn't feel the urgency. But honestly, going to your Res Life staff, calling the police department, calling either Kirksville PD or Truman PD, it all works, because it's all going to end up in the right, the right area and the right people looking into it. We are truly blessed to have good community partners and campus partners.
To learn more about the story, check out the upcoming issue of the Index, or head to tmn.truman.edu. This is Anas Al-Hassani, KTRM Studios.
When reached for a comment, Delta Chi President Stephen Zach told KTRM Studios the Truman State chapter of the Delta Chi fraternity was made aware of allegations against a former member of the chapter and a pending police investigation into the matter. As a values-based organization, the chapter does not condone any behavior that contrasts our 11 basic expectations, particularly our third basic expectation that calls on members to protect the health and safety of all human beings. The Delta Chi president has no further comments at this time.
Currently on Truman's campus, masks are required inside all campus buildings, regardless of an individual's vaccination status. Truman will continue its current mask policy and will review and re-evaluate the policy by November 5th. CDC guidelines in the Adair County Health Department indicate that the community transmission risk remains high. Everyone in Adair County is advised to wear a mask in public indoor settings. The vaccine is readily available at local pharmacies, and the university encourages those who have access to the vaccine to get vaccinated.
After conducting multiple surveys about student and employee vaccination rates, the university is implementing incentive programs for students and employees. Organizations, including residence halls and athletic teams, are eligible for a cash reward for their organization if 85% of members verified that they are vaccinated with the university. The cash award is scaled to the size of the organization. Organizations with more than 30 members can earn $300, 20 to 29 members can earn $200, 10 to 19 members would receive $100, and under 10 could earn $50. Official rosters with the UNI will determine the size of the organization for most groups. Advisors and organization leaders will have more information about how to guarantee your organization earns the incentive. The Student Health Center is offering 2 vaccination clinics to help organizations meet this goal. The first will be on September 30th for both first and second shots, and another on October 28th for the second shot. Faculty are also being offered an incentive to submit proof of vaccination to the university, including some paid times off.
Truman has been recognized as the #1 public school in the Midwest region for the 25th year running, according to a U.S. News & World Report. This goes along with placing in 6th overall in the 2022 Best Colleges rankings, gaining 1 spot from last year and making it the only Missouri public school in the top 70. Truman has earned its place on the list of most innovative schools too, and has topped the list for the best undergraduate teaching in public schools, coming 8th overall in the Midwest region. The placings are a great achievement for both the faculty and students here at Truman. The complete listings for the rankings can be found at usnews.com/colleges.
The university is implementing a new version of TrueView for all students. The version that current students are familiar with will be retired on October 4th. The new TrueView portal can be found at portal.truman.edu. Assistant producer Daniel Harper interviewed Chief Information Officer Donna Liss about the new system.
I think once you see the app, you're gonna like that as well. And once you see some of the controls, like one of the things you have in this system is you have the ability to tell the system how you want to receive your information. So you can say, I want to get my information via email, I want to get a text, or I want to get a push notification, or I don't want to get anything. So it's completely up to you. You decide, and you can have all of those if you want to. If you want to hear about it in all those ways, and you can do that by area. So, like if you're in a particular student organization and you really want to hear everything that they're doing, you can do that, and then there might be something else where you say, I only want to see this if I come look at it myself. So you have a lot of control in this system that we don't really have in TrueView right now. So the new freshmen who are coming in, they've been using this system all along. They've really never, they weren't taught how to use the old one. They just came in using this one because of the communication features. They wanted to be able to use some of those features. Depending on how we roll it out, how long it's going to take, there are features that students can come in there and just reach out and ask anybody a question. Like it's not really a thing that we have right now that covers the entire internal workings of the university. So I think people will get used to it, but I guess what I really want to do is just encourage anybody to just come forward and say what is or isn't working, because we just don't know what kind of things might be barriers and things that we could easily fix that might be barriers.
Stay tuned after the break for Truman's Career and Grad School Week coming up, and an update on student government.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Career and Grad School Week, which takes place twice a year on the campus of Truman State University, will be held from September 27th until October 1st this semester. Truman's Career and Grad School Week aims to assist students in preparing for their futures beyond their undergraduate degrees, the events of which vary from semester to semester. This semester, Truman will be offering 2 separate expos virtually, which will provide students the opportunity to meet with large groups of representatives from businesses and schools to ask questions and receive information. The Graduate and Professional School Expo will be held virtually on September 29th, and the Career and Internship Expo will be held virtually on September 30th. Students who would like more information on Career and Grad School Week can visit Truman's website at career.truman.edu. Students can also go to career.truman.edu to check out a list of employers and representatives who will be attending the upcoming expos. Graduate Admissions is hosting information sessions about Truman graduate programs and the application process on October 5th from 5:30 to 6:30, October 19th from 5:30 to 6:30, November 2nd from 5:30 to 6:30, and November 16th, once again, from 5:30 to 6:30. The sessions will be located in the sub room 3201 during the fall semester, and they will be held virtually over the summer. To participate in one of the sessions, register online at www.connect.truman.edu/portals/graduate sessions. Interested students can also contact Liz McLean from Graduate Admissions via email at emclean@truman.edu or by phone at 660-785-7343 with any questions. Student government's fall elections were underway this week. 10 students have been campaigning since September 13th for their position on the student government. Voting opened on September 20th and closed today. The results were announced by Student Government tonight, so be sure to check that out on the Student Government Instagram at TSU-StuGov or their website at senate.truman.edu. After the break, we'll take a look at the Truman football team and we'll hear about Kirksville's Red Barn Festival happening next week with Jordyn and Amelia.
Your high for today is a 72, whereas tomorrow we get up into the 80s with some nice cloud cover and a chilly 45 for the low. This weekend, we're looking at some sunshine with the mid-70s on Saturday and up into the 80s for Sunday. Monday, we're starting the week off in the high 80s, which will continue into the week. with a nice little bit of cloud cover on Wednesday, which will stay until Thursday with the high 70s. This has been your weather report. Stay tuned after the break.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, "Read your lease. No pets allowed." My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
The Truman Bulldogs won last weekend 38-24 against the Hillsdale Chargers. Reporter Elena Gorton has more.
Saturday, September 18th, Truman State Bulldogs take on the Hillsdale Chargers for their first home game of the season.
The Dogs started off strong, scoring 21 points in the first quarter and another 10 in the second, while the Chargers only scored 3 in the first half. Truman led the third quarter with another touchdown in PAT, but Hillsdale dominated the fourth, running up 24 points in the final quarter. The Bulldogs took the win, coming out with a 38-24 victory over the Chargers. Certainly a great way to open at home for the Dogs, and fans are excited for all aspects of the new season.
This football season, I'm looking forward to an undefeated season by the Truman State Bulldogs and a GLVC championship.
What I'm most looking forward to this season is seeing the dancers on the track.
This season, I'm super excited to see what the Statesmen come up with. Let's go, band!
Tune in next week when Truman takes on Tiffin University. This has been Elena Gorton with KTRM. Go Dogs!
Kirksville will be hosting the annual Red Barn Arts and Crafts Festival on October 2nd downtown. This coincides with Truman's Parents Weekend that will also be that weekend. The festival begins with a 7 a.m. farmers market hosted by the Kiwanis Club. After 9 a.m., the majority of vendors will begin to open for the public festival. Live music will include the Truman a cappella ensembles as well as others. Extra masks are available as well as hand sanitizer. All participants are encouraged to wear a mask and practice safe health measures. More information can be found online at kirksvillearts.org/red-barn.
Amelia, how do you repair a broken jack-o'-lantern?
I'm not sure, Jordan. With a Band-Aid?
With a pumpkin patch, which is exactly where studio manager Josie Wagner went for her story this week.
It's fall, y'all. September 22nd marked the official start of fall, and what better way to celebrate fall than in a pumpkin patch? This week's fall feature is Urban Gardens Pumpkin Patch and Corn Maze. This small family-owned business is just 2 minutes drive from campus, and this season's features include a petting zoo, pony rides, pumpkin picking, the corn maze, train rides, and a ghost town for kids where guests can buy homemade root beer. College students are welcomed with $2 off general admission when they present their student ID, so get out there and enjoy the weather.
Now we'll check out a unique Truman Symposium class and how they learn in an active and non-traditional style with reporter Rob Garner.
I'm Rob Garner, reporting from the Truman State University Quad, where the True 100 Symposium event has just ended. It may not look it right now, but less than an hour ago, this entire field was swarmed with freshmen, transfer students, and proctors, all taking part in the Truman 100 Symposium class.
So this was the second of the shared experiences that the freshmen are being asked to do as part of their symposium experience. And this one was to focus on community. The community aspect of this was quite fun, actually. I think we really wanted to give students the opportunity to get engaged with one another in a more non-traditional, non-lecture format. We do 4 shared experiences over the course of the semester, and this one we wanted to be a little more engaging, a little more interactive. So that was the intent behind it.
We all received an email from our freshman symposium professors, and it had a link to the app we were supposed to download, and then we were told to wear one of 4 colors of shirts: green, red, blue, and yellow. And we were told to show up at the quad at our class time. We were given directions via an audio file, and we basically were interacting with a bunch of people on campus that we didn't necessarily know before.
There were some complications, but it seemed to work out all right, and we just
listened to what the recording had to say, and we just followed along the instructions and had some fun. There were a couple things that I thought were notable. Nap time was one where we all just pretended to go on the ground and take a nap for a few seconds. There was a couple dance parties. Those were fun. And sometimes we just had to clap for a bit.
I feel like it was to kind of get us out of our comfort zones and to just kind of like unify us all at the same time.
Yeah. Because we had freshman week to start out with, where we were interacting with a whole bunch of different people, different freshmen, but that was 4 weeks ago almost. So now it's a chance for us to kind of re-meet our cohort and to get solidified as a group again.
It's a lot, so I think people had fun. This was a little, I wasn't sure what to expect. I actually did not hear the script beforehand, but I think, I think people were laughing, they got engaged, and I really loved the interaction, the freeze tag and the Simon Says activities that, I think were just kind of a fun way, kind of an icebreaker. We're still new in the semester right now, just a really fun time to get everybody together.
All right. I'm Rob Garner, reporting for KTRM Studios.
Thanks for tuning in with us tonight. For complete news coverage, be sure to stay tuned to KTRM and pick up a copy of the Index.
Don't forget to also check out our news content on tmn.truman.edu.
You can also follow KTRM Studios on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget to also subscribe to KTRM Studios on YouTube for full broadcast news coverage.
If you've ever thought about being on TV, be sure to head on over to tmn.truman.edu/apply to fill out an application today.
From all of us here at TMN, thank you for tuning in and have a great rest of the week.